Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn Knight, and welcome back to my streams and my channel and my shenanigans. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. There have been some issues on Performium recently, some huge lag spikes, some outages, things like that. They're working on the server in the background. It's up right now, but it wasn't up until very, very recently. So I just went ahead and decided to stream something else today. And I may also do some work on Performium afterward. But what I wanted to do today was take care of a promise that I had been sort of tossing around from time to time in the recent past, and just go ahead and do it. And that is, I have a server of my own. I've had several videos of it on my channel. Oh, and it has been around since 2018, I think. It's a whitelisted 1.11.2 server, so Minecraft from back then, and it's just a very modest, low population server with very little activity, but still kicking. And I wanted to just give a tour of what there is on it today. But before I get into it, I want to say thank you to Elmaze11, Zogma, Infinium, Sean, Robert, Kim, Little Cuddles, and Ryan Still for helping to support this server, this Discord, this everything, the stream, this YouTube, everything that I have going on. It runs so much smoother as a result of anything that I am able to receive from you guys, and it is greatly appreciated, and it gives me all the warm, happy feelings, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, I see Cuddles is in chat. The server, I'll stay off unless you want. You can come on. There's nothing saying you can't come on. It's your server too. And also, if you're watching this and wish to be a part of the Refuge, you can message me on Discord and we can work something out. Also, people who support on Patreon get entrance into the Refuge, at least temporarily. And we can give a look in person at what's going on the Refuge here. But you will have to remember it is 1.11.2, so install that version of Minecraft. Otherwise, you won't be able to come on. It's not like on Performium where you can go on virtually any version and it goes in through the proxy server and then it adjusts to communicate with your client. If your client isn't 1.11.2, you just can't get in. Let's see here. Let me get rid of this, hide that, minimize that, get rid of this. There we go. And mouse is visible on the stream. Cool beans. And there we go. All right, so this is the Refuge. This is back in 2017-18. We were playing, a whole bunch of us were playing on Performium, and there were some I'll say instances of adventure where a few things were going amiss with things related to Performium, and a bunch of people decided they didn't want to be on there anymore. And so I went ahead and started brainstorming on something I might be able to do to help keep some of the ragtag group together. Long term, looking back, it seems like it was just a bunch of people looking for excuses not to play anymore, but I gave them some excuses to keep playing just a little bit longer by making a server of my own. It's called the Refuge, and It was a very modest start, and it grew over time, especially as I learned all the different plugins and commands and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I have my own little server here, and this is the spawn. You spawn here on water. I made it so that if the need arises for you to do the old skyblock trick, where if you're falling, you type ISGO and you immediately teleport to your spawn point. You can do that here, and so if you're falling to your death or if you're on fire, you can do /spawn as fast as you can, and you land in water. Spawn point's actually here. You land in the water, and you get put out, and it solves two problems all at once, and you get put back to spawn. I wanted to have that little added security blanket for people who are having some mishaps in their exploration. There are a number of different plugins on here that add to the adventure vibe, including some for quests. You can see a little music note over there above a pretend Thorn of Night. It's me. Hello. And there are quests. I have hundreds of quests on this server of all different kinds. Some are related to a storyline that I have for this server. Some are related to just some of the plugins. Like I have quests related to MCMMO. You're supposed to be Thor. Yeah, there we go. Skins changing. Skins changing. Hello. Everyone, oh, your skin is that now. Okay. And now your skin is this. That's just hilarious. I tried to make the NPCs have skins that matched the theme of what their function was, and it turns out that it doesn't lock that skin in place. It repulls the skin servers and whatever that player that the NPC is linked to has as their skin, that's what this is. So whatever this player is based on, that's their skin right now. Much to my dismay and surprise. But let's get back here to spawn point. Actually, I could just go ahead and /spawn to demonstrate. It's instant. This server is run on sort of an honor system, and a few people took advantage of that and are no longer allowed on the server. There are only a handful of people who have been removed as a result of some nasty habits, but the server rules are pretty straightforward. Don't trespass, don't cheat. It's an honor system. Basically, if it looks like there's some projects going on that you have nothing to do with, don't mess with them. And the world is unlimited. There isn't a border at 10,000. I have one place that's 100,000 blocks away. It is a massive world, and there's even some new members. If you are from Wild, you might recognize some of these faces. Some people have hopped onto this server. This is the old family of many, not even all, but many of the previous people. Oh, that's funny. That's the same. Oh no, okay. Yeah, we had a spot up there for him. That's right. We had a spot for Nate the Carrot, but he never actually joined, so there we go. I can actually just probably get rid of this. Let's just make sure that this is him, though. Carrot's head. Yes, it is. So, there, instead of /trade, because I wanted the server to have an RPG kind of feel, role-playing game feel, there is more immersion than just doing /trade. You can use a mail system. You can craft a mailbox, you can craft stamps and letters, and can mail things to each other. There's the marriage system on here, and so you can marry one player and you can trade with that player and teleport to that player directly. By default, you only have one set home, and um, the marriage plugin allows you to have an additional home that way, so that's a nice workaround. I didn't want to go ham with having 1,000 homes everywhere for everyone, but I was planning on having something set up so people could uh, purchase more homes and more land and stuff, and I'll get into that. But yeah, here we have the mail system, map of the area around spawn. Oh, as you can see in the chat, some comments happening. The NPCs give little random comments. I couldn't get it to work without messing around more with the permissions file, so I need to do that to make it so everyone can see these, but right now only admins get a chance to see this text here. There's clear lag, but I was able to go in and change some of the text for the clear lag. So it revolves around the corruptor, the big bad guy, the main storyline for this server. Um, and the story is the corruptor has escaped imprisonment. They were captured in this area and transported elsewhere, and they have escaped. And it is your job to follow behind and fix the issues, and a whole big old thing going on with that. Oh, there's a plugin called Mob Hunter, so there's more stuff to do with mobs. Let's see here. Ah, obviously there's the chair sitting. No, that's not a real sign. Enter chest right here at spawn. Very nice. There is a value for virtually everything in the game. If I wanted to sell this, I could go /price. It's worth 14 cents. If I wanted to sell this, it's worth $1.66, with or without metadata. Basically, what I did is I went through and made a rarity and work value for every single thing. If it's really, really, really easy to get your hands on, it's like a penny, and the prices go up based on difficulty and number of steps it takes to make the thing or acquire the thing. And then if something is extremely rare, it has even a higher price. So that's the sell value. If you can't find players to sell things to, you can just sell to the server and get some money that way. There's also a jobs plugin. I'll get to that in a bit. I don't see any other signs. Oh, I should mention, you probably noticed this little book area here. There is a full level enchanting setup, just made to look a little bit fancy. And a little pick over there. Yeah, here's spawn. I'll fly. There are some attractions here in the spawn area that I suppose I should go ahead and mention. For people who like parkour, let's come down over here. There is an excessively difficult parkour here, and it starts like this, and from put some night vision on. Something is amiss. Did that? Why is this not going through the headphones for the game? Oh, that's weird. Just a moment, I'm having some technical difficulties. Let me relaunch this game. It's not detecting the headphones. That is really bizarre. Let's go disconnect. Cancel. Quit game. Yeah, the music is playing through the headphones, but the game was playing through the speakers. That is really bizarre. Let's see if this fixes that. apologies. I tested to make sure that the music was coming through the headphones, and I thought that was going to be it. Multiplayer, the Refuge. Let's see here, is this gonna... There we go. Now it's in the headphones. That was weird. Oh, when we started the server, I could actually find that out right now. Let's see here. Inspect. Because this is among the first things that were put on the server. Oh. Oh, this is before the rollback. Oh, yeah. Oh. So maybe we can't use this trick to find out. Oops. Oops, oops. Oops, oops. Was this? Yeah, that was... Calculator, please. We have 50617 hours. Let's divide that by 24, and that's how many days. And that's 2,109 days. Yeah, it was sometime in May. I think like May 18th of 2018. But let's see here. 2,109 minus 365 equals. That's 3, 4, 5. 5 years and 284 days was when that was changed last. So there's at least that. Anyway, let's get over here and go back into this. The parkour is exceedingly difficult on purpose. It is meant to train on some of the more problematic jumps, and I hit back for some reason because I'm a dum-dum. Like, for instance, going from glass and hitting these little, these little corners where you have to come in and land just on the edge. Like, for instance, going from this platform to this stair, and you can technically make it from there to there. This, you go up the ladder, spiral around. This is a real hang up for me, doing the jump where you have to come around the corner. It's terrible. All of these I have tested myself and are individually doable. It's just a pain. And you just work your way through the obstacle course and come that there is a reset point, so you don't have to start all the way at the beginning. You can restart midway if you get stuck. You come up here, you land on this, another one of those jumps. Over here, up here. I do need to make it more clear, but you jump all the way down there and then land on this slime block and then jump over to this and then up here, then on this and then over like that. And then you do that little all the way back and control run thing for each one of these. And then you land on this and you jump, because if you try to do the full jump, you will go past the slime block, and then you get the reward in the chest. I need to change that to a wood button. Core inspect. Let's make this a wood button so people can actually get out of here. There we go. Forgot about that. But there's that parkour. There's another parkour, and I will make sure I'm not holding the barrier right now. It is an invisible parkour. You may see, if you are at spawn, you may notice that there's a dragon built up in the sky up there, or some sort of flying thing. Path to the dragon begins on this barrier block, and some people have a hard time seeing the outlines of barrier blocks. I don't know what causes that. but you can use arrows or snowballs or something to see where the next block is located. But the path goes up here, up around, up like this, and up through here onto the dragon's back, where there's a tremendous reward. You get some experience, some money, and this resets, I think, once a week, something like that. And it's just a little dragon I built up here with the mouth flapping. Yeah, there's that. There is... I would stand here and change the nearby environment for seasons and holidays and stuff. Right now it's still set for spring, summer, so it's got sort of the spring colors going on. But anyway, let's get out of spawn and take a look at this. There's the quest line related stuff over there. There's still quest line stuff over this way, but I want to first go over this direction and just show off the town. I had mentioned that there is a bit of a money system in the game where you can trade with players, but I want to go past this real fast and come over to a certain shifting character that I put in place to lead people back to the black market where you can rent a stall and you can talk to that NPC for a quest. I don't want to do that right now. You go to the black market, and in here are players' stalls, accessible only by those players, where they can set shops and sell and buy things using the shop signs. Unlike what Performium is doing now, I have it set so you can buy and sell. So that's nice. A demonstration of what the signs are meant to look like. A way back to spawn. But that's not the only way to make money. You can make money by selling your hand, like I said, or there are jobs. You can get some employment through these jobs. You can have up to 3 jobs, and if I right click this, it shows what my stats are for the 3 jobs that I've got. Miner, builder, woodcutter, and all of the job types are listed around the room with the leaderboard for each person in those jobs, info on the jobs. Let's see here, I do this. There we go. And also the way to join the jobs. In addition, back here is the overall leaderboard of all the skill levels. You can see Cuddles is way ahead of everyone else. But yeah, it's the first 15 people. Yeah, bunch of stuff going on with the jobs. Let's see here, what else have we got that's nearby? I will do, I'll do that area later. Let's just make it daytime all the time. There are, like I had mentioned, NPCs with quests for lots of things. That one is related to the fishing skills. There is a huge reward system that is visitable over and over again. That can be claimed once you get all of your skills past a certain point. You do a main MCMMO quest chain with the quartermaster and whatnot, and you get access to I think it's, I have so many homes. What would it be called? Oh, it isn't a home, it's a warp. I believe. Let's see here. Game mode, spectator. Where are you? Here it is. Creative. Welcome to the Regency stores. Everything is lootable. Just to leave, just use spawn or /home or whatever. There's a shop where you can buy a spawner for $1,000,000. You have access to your ender chest, and then all of these are loot containers with either quest related items that you occasionally have to grind for, and this makes it so you don't have to grind for them anymore. You can just keep coming back once a day or once a week and get the item. And they're all labeled that way. Like for instance, if I needed to get Ichthian Strand, there's some Ichthian Strand in here, and this is something just related for a quest, and it says it's a 7-day regen on that. But there's also the Regency Shield and Banners. Some special items there. And that's another 7-day regen. And there was... I thought... Oh, wait. There's also... Yeah, here it is. There may be some extra region loot. Part of the quest chain gives you some very specialized loot that are armor or weapons, and you get them in here. The way I have the game set up, the way I have the quest line set up, I should say, is that each of the major towns... Oh, there's Cuddles. Each of the major towns has its own set of... There's Cuddles. Oh, and PvP is off because I just hate PvP. Each town has its own set of enchantments that is related to the town, and as you progress, different towns have different achievements available in bulk or on sale compared to previous places, and this town is no different, so the enchantments related to the Regency set is also related to this town's enchantments. But let's go this way. There's a few things over here that I wanted to talk about. There's the sawmill. He has some quests for wood cutting. But back here in the woods, there is a secret cave that is related to a quest. This is for alchemy, and I need to change the quests for this still, because it turns out the quest turn-in system doesn't like when you right-click with a potion bottle of any kind, and so I'm gonna have to reset it to just be some specialized empty bottle or something, but I'll figure that out. But this over here, back behind the castle, there has been a meteor impact. And the meteor is a slime meteor, and it is one of many dungeons that I have built for this server, and it is an open world, just out in the open dungeon. But once you get to about here, slimes and magma cubes start spawning, and there in the center is a chest with a lot of slime related things, and there is an enchantment. One of the plugins on here is custom enchants, and you can get obsidian shields, so it makes it worth visiting and trying to get this. Oh, there they have spawned because she went down there. Oh, and why don't I just show these items? Punch and flame. Oh, Cuddles, no. Get your stuff. I don't have keep inventory, and that's on purpose. Anyway, reflexive treads, fire protection and thorns and springs. obsidian shield on the pants, there it is, and some thorns and things like that. Slowness, just things that deal with movement and whatnot. Some magma, it's called sizzling meteoric stone, but it's magma blocks. Some eggs for each of the colors of slimes. The eggs can be used if you buy a spawner. You can make a spawner of your very own, and so you can either just place the egg in the world, or you can turn a spawner into, say, a magma cube spawner. There's a knockback 2 slime block called the elastic glove, and some potions of leaping, you know, things related to jumping. And this is just a plume of smoke that is left over after the meteor impact. It also sort of looks like some eldritch jellyfish thing, and I like it, so that's that. Then you move further down the road. Oh, these little lamps come on when it's nighttime, so it must be nighttime, because this seems to be on. Or not. Back over this way, and I'll just go ahead and fly. Following the road back, there is something related to, I believe, the acrobatics quest line, and also some reputation for the people in another city called Aloft. This spawn city is called Haven, or New Haven? No, it's Haven. It's Haven. This is a researcher. He is here as a member of Aloft, which is a steampunk community, dual community actually. And you come down here and you're supposed to get some materials. You parkour through here. The chests have some of the materials as you go. It should be enough to get you enough for the quest on just one run, especially if you encounter all the quests. Most of the jumps are pretty straightforward, but this is a head knocker, so it's real easy to mess that one up. And just to make it more stressful, I added a sign that says be careful, and that's responsible for making a lot of people miss the jump, and it's hilarious. But then you come up here, you get the last stuff for the quest, and you can't really interact with these, but this is the teleporter to the surface, and we're right back up here again. But there's also a whole other kingdom accessible in this direction. If I backtrack down the road and I take this little split off here, hola amigo. If I take this little split off here where this giant mushroom is, there is a path that leads down this way, and I am intending on making it slightly more obvious once I get the quest line officially in, but that may never happen because I've generally stopped working on this server because no one's playing on it. So if no one's playing on it, then why should I continue working on it? But I come back here and we enter the underground kingdom of Mycoria, and I want to get a little bit closer before I do the big camera reveal. Give myself some night vision. You can see there's mushrooms everywhere, but why are the clouds so... Here, let me turn the clouds off. Options, video settings, clouds off. There we go. Just a whole bunch of shelf mushrooms and other kinds of custom mushrooms that I've designed and built in different stages of growth, and mushrooms everywhere. And there was meant to be on that big central pillar there a boss fight that you had to get to after doing some other questing through here, including finding out why some of the mushrooms are dying. Once I get in the water, it makes it impossible to see. That's just great. But down here is a fallen version of the mushrooms that are sticking out the top. These things here. And the idea was to incorporate this side quest chain into the main quest line by giving some more things related to mushrooms, and be able to get a mushroom cow spawn egg and some other perks like that. Where is the pillar? Oh, you know what? I'll just go /spawn. Why don't I do that? Let's go down this way next. So this is where I was before. It went off that direction toward those places. I showed the jobs, and then almost everyone here in the town has a quest chain related to their various general fields. This guy would be taming. This one here, I believe, is herbalism. And here are some shops where you can just get any starter crop type of plant. And oh, I should mention that all of my structures, all of my structures have some sort of parkour access to a hidden chest. Dang, no critter this time. You can get different kinds of animals in there, including well, all up to 1.11.2 you can get the foxes weren't around back then. What were the critters? Let's see here. I know there's panda. I don't think horse was one of them. Maybe donkey. I think llama might have been one. Ocelot might have been one. Oh, you know what? Which one is this called? This is called Cute Critter. Loot list Cute Critter. Oh, loot. What's the command? It has been a while. Bear with me. Unlike time level, break round, cost. So that's how to loot. Let's rename. Where's the... I thought there was a command to just look at what was possible in one of the loots. Oh well. I don't want to waste too much time messing with that. I'm sure I have it written down somewhere. But you have a chance of getting some special eggs in there, and you can use them for making spawners of your own rabbits and stuff like that. Cute little critters. And then you enter the town of Haven proper. And this is the Hog's Head Inn, from which the Hog's Head has been stolen. And the innkeeper has a couple of quests. One will send you to the simplest and probably first dungeon most players will encounter, where you come down and you kill some spiders, and then you get some loot down there if you want to go in, but you can just stand in the doorway and kill enough spiders to come back out, turn the quest in, and get I think a wooden sword with Bane of Arthropods of stupendous level. Then also, somewhere in this building, there is a hidden loot container. Every other building that I build has one. This is the quest line. Oh, hi, Cuddles. This is the quest line related to the brewing plugin. This is a barrel. There are two different size barrels. These little guys and the big guys. You can do some brewing using some special methods to make custom potions and drinks. Oh, hello. She has found the sweet golden apple mead, 4 years barrel aged. What stats? This gives night vision and fire resistance. Look at that. And you can make some custom potions that way. And I was even going to be throwing in some additional ones for some questing of my own. I wonder if you could turn those into splash potions. Hold on. Give me that back. Do you still have it? Where was... There it is. Yeah. And then I need a piece of glowstone. I've never tried this. Or not glowstone, gunpowder. I come here, I put this guy in, and I put the gunpowder in. Oh, and some blaze. Oops. Is this actually going to turn into a splash potion version of this? I've never tried it. Let's see if this crashes the server. Oh, she added hers. Ah. Fire resistance. Wait. I have fire resistance already, but if I do this, do I... Yep. Okay, so it just turns into some sort of a generic potion. That's alright. Anyway, there's quests related to that. Ah, Hogshead Special Brew. Oh. After that derp that the server had that made Slime Fun stop working properly, you can no longer get the Hogshead Special Brew. Oh, that's a bummer. I have to remake that. There is a place here in town that I had set aside for if there were some, I guess, what you'd call MVP players or something. So some supporters from Patreon could have their own houses here at spawn. Let's see here. This is the paper printer. I have a paper press. It's just a little burnout timer with a button attached to it. Quests related to enchanting, I believe, for that one. This road we'll explore later. That goes to Spruce Springs, a town made by one of the players, and then further, my town's. This goes to River Run Pasture, the train station, and Port Haven. But first, let's look at some of these other buildings in here. With the glassmaker, glazier, and there's all kinds of things that they make, including a quest-related piece of glass. I forget where. Ah, there it is. You can parkour your way up to get. Ideally, you can parkour your way up to get at. Well, you can. I just don't remember how. Do you have to do it from here? I think maybe you have to do it from here. Okay, now. Hiya! There we go. That's just sample loot it's a good random selection of different armors and tools and weapons, so I just kept it as sample loot. This is the place for uh, mending? Yeah, the mending quest line. This is the repair quest line, I should say. I forget which skill this one's related to, but it also introduces a different sort of quest or plugin interaction where you can do some container trading, and you need, for instance, this one, you need to have a tanning knife, which you get from the altar, and some rotten flesh, and then you take the tanning knife and some salt, which you also get. You take the rotten flesh that turns into rawhide, and rawhide plus salt, and the hide press, which is here, you turn it into hide, and hide plus sulfate plus redstone equals leather. So you can turn rotten flesh into something useful by way of doing a process here in town. And if you have messed up your item, or you lost it or whatever, you can always get the tanning knife and the hide press again by just having the quest redeemed. You can talk to this person and say, I lost my item. They'll say, yeah, I remember you had it, and you get a new one. You can redeem the token to get this, and so on and so forth. There is this building back here. If I went any further that other direction, I'd be leaving town. This is the flight path. Oh, you can see a zeppelin up there. This is the flight path, but it's also the place where magic is taught and demonstrated. This what's the wizardly magic or wizarding slash plugins? It is wizardly magic. Oh, and because something was squirrely with the setup, spell books don't work, but staves do. So I have a sign there as an explanation why. It's the corruptor's fault. And that plugin uses like an altar setup. It's kind of neat. Here you can get some enchantments, including obsidian shield. You can get it for very expensive here. It's a lot cheaper at Anvil. A quarter of the price, in fact. And then here, let's just go up the stairs. Almost at the top. Whew, I could have just flown out the door. And there's Cuddles, already at the Flight Master. And you can, let's see here. You go one. Oh, she's in the middle of doing the quest. Do I talk to you again? Okay. There she goes. And now I get to. And yes. And then talk to her again, and here we go. We're on the back of a dragon. I'll discuss this cube here soon-ish. Flying over the cemetery. Well, that's just hilarious. They all tried to get to her at the lowest point because she stays in survival. this is the ship that represents the town of Aloft, one of the many airships on the server. They even have a little escape airship in case of emergency, and for ground access and stuff so they can go back and forth. But there's a bunch of quests up here. This is also related to, I believe, the acrobatics. I even have a skeleton named Engineer or something like that, or something on a minecart that's just going around and around in a circle to make engine noises. These buttons largely do nothing at all. And they are transporting some things to and from Aloft. There is a parkour. Ooh. And of course I did that one wrong. Where you come up here and you reach this for a quest, but also there is another parkour at spawn. She's already headed up there, where you can, right at the very beginning, if you are so bold, you can get an elytra that is almost completely broken. And if you lose it, you can get one every 7 days. And thankfully, this town has, you know, mending, so you could put mending on it and immediately start repairing it, but that costs a little bit of dough. There's, let's see here, I don't think I had a secret container in this ship. No. Oh, and you can see down into town. It's pretty nice. And you can take the Flight Master back, or you can do /spawn, whatever. The rest of town, there's a couple structures here from some of the admins. Let's see here. There's this building here, which is the place to get this town's relevant enchantments, and that is Smite, or they are Smite, Bane of Arthropods, Mending, Projectile Protection, Punch, and Knockback. And I believe a couple bookcases in here are, I'm clicking, I'm not seeing any though. A couple other bookcases in here are secret storage, and they might have a chance at an enchanted book. I'm not sure. There's a couple floors, so it's probably on the second floor. But there, I haven't made the librarian NPC yet, but they would be standing here for some other quests, including ones that will send you to one of the many dungeons that I have made on the server. This one's called the Archive, and there are some hidden items all over the place for you to get. How political can we be here? The answer is I'd recommend against it. Against it. But in there is a maze. It's the same from all 4 directions, so no matter how you enter it, it's going to be the same route. But you work your way to the center, and then you teleport up, and then you fight the boss. But there's another maze in the same place that I have built. Let's see here, /top. And there's custom mobs and whatnot that I have in there. You can visit this place on foot and actually enter manually, go into either of the dungeons. The bottom dungeon isn't really started yet, but this is the outside of the archive. Ta-da! Right back in here. Let's see here. Let's go back to spawn. Can you protest the decision? Which decision? The decision to make chat political. Let's see here. Now, as we are leaving town, this is the mining quest line guy. And this is the town mine, and there are containers of leftover items that there's a low chance to get the actual quest item. I sometimes can do a full run of the entire town mine and not get any of them, and it goes down several levels, but once you get enough, you can continue the quest line with him, and he send you on other little missions. But then you go out of town and you head toward River Run Pastures, where someone who's experimenting with time manipulation, I really ought to make that just a wider bridge, has made a, oh, there's Cuddles, has made cows that are stuck in a time loop. They keep coming back in time to respawn, and so this is a place to get leather and beef. And there's a couple quests related to these two, and there's parkour up here. Well, if I can jump, I'll do this, come up on here, and then is the ladder in the front? No, it's in the back. Of course it is. And then over here, and I missed, so we'll pretend I didn't. And then you come up, and eventually you can get on here and reach this, and you get a nice little Fortune 5. It's called a whittling stick. It's a hoe, but you can get that every 7 days if you want. Fortune 5 get you a little bit of boost for drops. And then from here you work your way out of town. This is the mob heads board. All of the available mob heads. What is this? It says ghost bullet head, but what is it? What mob head is the ghost bullet? What on earth? I'm afraid that if I punch that off, that it won't drop as the actual mob head, because this is post rollback, and so it may not remember all the metadata. What mob is that supposed to be? Is it on the back? No, it's not. Of course it's not. That might be a dirt head. Anyway, quest related to Apple Tree. Slime Fun is part of the reason why there was rollback. There were some issues making it so that even though Slime Fun even though Slime Fun is working, it says it's working. If I go let's see here. Slime Fun. Which one is it? I think I just do the guide and then, oh yeah, there we go. If I have the Slime Fun guide, it's supposed to have like pages and pages of things that you can craft and do. And all that remains are a few items, and you can still craft these few items, so Slime Fun is still working, but no matter what I've done, it hasn't reset everything, so some of the contraptions and things are broken. And I'll just do this. So I don't know what gives with that, but if you continue further out of town, there were going to be a couple other things on the road leading out here, but then eventually you find your way to the bandit camp, and here is a bandit who has stolen the Hogshead head, and this is the entrance to the bandit camp, and there's going to be quests in here, or there is an outline for quests to go in with the bandit camp. Then we go further down the road and we end up at the incomplete train station. One of the players was helping build the train station, and you know, things just sort of petered off as happens on servers, and they had college and stuff, and they haven't come back to finish this. I'm going to leave it as is in case they want to. Once they do, I have a whole bunch of quests related to that, including a form of fast travel related to trains and subways and stuff. So there's that, and then a little bit further down the road, I guess I can fly for these long stretches, because right now there's nothing between there and here. There will be, or there are plans to be. But we enter Port Haven, which is, you know, just a little port town. I like my little lamp that I created. I'm happy with it. This is an avatar of one of the ops, White Cat 18. And then here we have one of the several forms of fast travel on the server. This is the ship where if I were to go to any of these, I would appear on an identical copy of the ship in a different part of the world. So let's go to, you know what? Let's go to my place. Here we are, we're on the ship. Same ship, different location. This is where I'm doing my survival stuff. Everything you see here is done in survival, including the building of the mesas up higher. That all is because I was able to get the materials for the during the dirt stage to do this. This is where I was doing the what is it called? Refugee to Regent challenge, where you start off only being able to work with your fist, and then you get wood tools, and then you do things with those. Then you get stone tools, you do things with those, iron, and so on and so forth. And I left off just having entered the stone stage, so here's some stairs that lead up to this little area, which was the actual ground layer of the actual ground layer of where I started my challenge. There's my dirt house, and there's the first thing I did in the wood house. But up here, this is my chateau. I built it so that it overhangs. That was fun. Anyone who manages to come here can sell poisonous potatoes for a stupendous amount. I did map art on the server for one of my novels. So there we go, My Father's Son. I have placeholders for some cauldrons because I don't have iron accessible to me yet for during the stage that I'm on for this challenge. So and a couple of the ops have put some animals in my house. Jojo, Cuddles, and I believe there was a white cat animal in here as well. You're not it. Anyway, some basic storage back here, nothing too fancy, but I was able to start using the big storage units so I can store some things that I have acquired. through my digging and whatnot, so that's nice. And that's from a plugin called Sensible Toolbox. Oh, that's a plugin that didn't survive the server derp. The My Pets. I don't have Red Dot. I don't have Rainbow Chicken. I don't have any of my other pets. Everything in this build is done in survival except one tiny little thing. If I come up here, I summoned in a globe head to put on an armor stand. But that's it. That's the only thing. That's it. All of the administrators have their own little offices up here for my town. This is not staff for the server. This is for the challenge, the Refugee to Region challenge. You have to have administrative offices and mayoral housing and things like that. And then the peasants get their own little houses. Let's go down here. Is it storming? No, I was just under something. So little farmhouses. And farms to go with them. This is primarily where I've got my herbalism skill up. Just a whole bunch of little stuff down here. And recently I was able to start doing the stone stage. So I have sandstone and diorite, or I'm sorry, granite and some clay, and I've come up with this design as my town wall. Actually, over here is the layout for my town wall. It's just one unit of it. I still have yet to put the town wall on this part of town over here and over on the other side. But you can generally see what's going on in here. But what I might do is I might just go ahead and pick up on the stone stage and continue this challenge, because I would like to get this challenge, because it's been sitting here and waiting, and I've decided there don't need to be any other people. No other people need to be on this server for me to do this challenge. It's just nice to not be working alone. There have been a few players on here off and on recently, over the past few months, that are semi-regular. It's just I've been spending all my time on Performium, so it is what it is. But let's see here. I need to actually make access up to here from inside of town, come to think of it. Let's see. What else? Oh, well, obviously, the elephant in the room. I did a biome. It is storming. Weather clear. I did a biome conversion bit by bit, and you could probably go back and watch that on my Refuge playlist. This is actually where I learned some of the nuances of some of the commands for World Edit that I didn't know before, and had a bunch of time. This is a toxic jungle, and the rule is there is to be no touching the ground here. And also, I can't use this redstone as building materials. I can build onto the sides of these and on top of them, but I can't actually use the materials of these trees. And depending on where I'm going to put it, there's going to be a big central city tree for when I expand to the next city, which will be in here. And then there is another, let's call it a biome conversion, down below. Accessible this way. Through the great big tunnel of whoosh. Be hypnotized. Subscribe to my channel. Support me on Patreon. You know you want to. Actually, I'm hoping eventually to be able to get this server, like, have it be an adventure server that people can participate in as a greater whole. If I could actually get some fundage going for that, do a multi-server thing where people have their own little server worlds, and then they can do the adventure stuff on this world. That would be lovely. But this right now is a private whitelisted server for mostly my Patreon supporters. But right now it's all Danger Dark. I forgot to change all this to be Mushroom Island. But this is mycelium because I wanted to have the little particles coming up. There's a sunken ship. This little light area, I did this just so things would leave me alone. I was doing some experiments with some custom homemade kelp designs. A volcanic fissure or vent or whatever, spewing up some bubbles. Over this way there's a guardian temple, and all around the entire place that I have claimed up is this Greco-Roman wave design thing. Goes all the way around. I had a lot of fun putting this in. There's even a layer up here where I'm going to have maybe some quests related. Definitely going to put some quests in there. While this is my survival build area, I am going to be introducing some NPC quests to the place so that it isn't just my area. So I'm doing my challenge in the space around this build, but I am also making it available to players to be able to visit. I don't think there's anything else really up here that's worth mentioning. I have most of the animals that are livestock. I have all the tree types. Managed to get those. Cactus nearby. I could start growing those in more bulk, but I'll go wait until I can use a hopper for that to automate the cactus development. Yeah, I think that's it for this area. So now, if I were to go in that direction, I would end up in a naturally spawned village that I have sort of converted a little bit. And it's another one of my survival only build areas. It has nothing to do with this challenge. It's just I wanted to do a build. And some of you may recognize the build from what I'm doing on Performium, but we are going to go at it from a different direction. So let's go spawn again. Excuse me. And I'll just fly over here. Oh yeah, this was the fireworks display from that 4th of July event. There's this cube. It's another Menger sponge. Those of you who are familiar with my giant chisel deep slate Menger sponge that I'm building. This is a polished diorite version, and if you follow this sign here, you end up at the town of Procedura, or the city of Procedura, and you don't really see much because I have these giant trees that hide Cuddles. This is the converted village. I wanted to leave the buildings the same design as the vanilla village, just changed the blocks, so I didn't have to think too hard about that. But then we come in here to Procedura, and obviously I've got all these trees in place. I've been doing some wood cutting. We have the tier 1, tier 2 Manger Sponge, and places where people can sell me the different kinds of materials that I need. Over here is a sheep farm for getting brown wool, because I'm using brown wool in there so that there's less surface area to have to worry about rendering. I had to put a lid on it because lightning kept killing my sheep. There's no mob stacking. Then we have the tier 3 Manger Sponge. And from every side there is a step down to each of the lower stages of Manger Sponge as a demonstration. We'll look at that from above in a bit. This is the inside of the tier 3. And then here's the tier 4. This is the stage one smaller than what I'm building on Performium. This was all built in survival, so lots of falling happened. Fun little build. I used a lot of glowstone, a lot of brown wool, a lot of polished diorite. But the most important thing about this is here in the middle, Procedura is a 2-stage city. There's this, the above ground place that I was going to turn into a trading market area with each of those little, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and do the aerial perspective of the place. Each one of these was going to be different kinds of shops. But yeah, there's the above ground Procedura. Keep forgetting I have an elytra on. And then there's the below ground, and Cuddles is already beating me to it. I'll just fall because I can. The idea was to get some villagers and have enough villagers for each one of these apartments, so that maybe each wing could start becoming its own village, maybe get some iron golems to spawn, but they're all fully decorated and they have beds and doors and are ready to be moved into by villagers. There's the hot, the cold, and the water. Actually, I should probably replace one of the water chutes with ice. That way it's ice, lava, and water. Something to keep in mind. The next layer down is farms. This is left empty. Slime fun and exotic slime fun, and most of these don't work right now. Sadly. Blackberry, blueberry, cabbage, corn. Ah, so sad. Oh, I wanted all three to be flowing, that's right. Yes, okay. So over here is my mushroom area, and I'll put on some more night vision. The idea is the seed mushrooms stay at the far end. So like I've got some seed mushrooms back there and there. And there and all that kind of stuff. And you can see that there's 2 new mushrooms on this side and 1 mushroom on this side, and oh, this is that whole chunk boundary issue. And I do this and replace that because I'm a creative. But you hit the button, water comes down, does this. All of those get dumped into the chests automatically. Hit the button again. The chunk boundary issue. Yep. Prevents that water from doing what it's supposed to do, but that's alright. I have the red mushrooms over on that side. I have more sugar cane than you can shake a stick at. I have cocoa bean farm. I haven't really replanted, but this is the server killing semi-automatic cocoa bean wall pushing thing. Oh, and here's my cocoa beans. Are my cocoa beans, I should say. We have my not mycelium, the nether wart, cactus. I didn't make this too terribly fancy. There's no way to turn that into compost, so 1.11.2, so that's just cactus and dye and whatnot. Then the next floor down is more mining stuff, my workshop and what have you. It was fun to build this. It was a little bit messy in places, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, this is just a couple of my areas. Now let's go back to spawn. And we've been going off to the right. And there's a couple more things that I still need to do. But first, I want to see if there's... yes. There is a place that I have set up a warp for people to test their texture packs. And on here right now I have just the vanilla texture pack. I could move in my custom one. As a matter of fact, why don't I do just that? Let's come over to Discord and go. Minecraft and go. Pinned messages. Is this where I put my resource pack? No. That's not it. That's not it. This should be it. Open resource pack folder. Download. This is a new computer, and so I haven't moved the resource pack or the texture pack that I made back then over to this computer yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Show in folder. Move this over here. And then close this and close this. Go done, and then go back into here and created by Thorn. Move this over. Yes. Done, and it'll take a second. There we go. A lot of this is the high resolution Faithful pack and some other things that I have gleaned from a number of different texture packs to make it as close to the vanilla as possible, but with very high resolution. But not so high that it's inaccessible to most players. So it's just the stuff you're used to. It's nothing too terribly elaborate. It's just higher res versions of the blocks, and I think no, it doesn't pulsate. All right. I have everything in here, I think, except for I can't remember. Ah, I do remember. It's Totems of Undying. And I was having some issues with that. I'm not going to bring one out because it might crash me. But there's the sheep. You can make it rain, clear sky, day, night. I have turned off all those particles right now, so you can't really see it, but I have examples of most of the mobs. If I turn the lights off in here, things can spawn. Right now it's wither skeleton and skeleton. There's supposed to be spider and cave spider. They are not spawning in here right now. There's a cave spider. But this is just a way to see the mobs. There's a bunch of stuff. Anyway, there's that. Oh, and also the paintings. These are higher res versions of the originals. Generally. What else? What else? Anything of interest? Examples of lava, static lava, or flowing lava, static lava. I should have water elsewhere over here. I don't have a static water, but it's largely the same. I like the wheat, I really do. Let's put this back. Resource packs, done. And let's go back to spawn again. And actually, instead of just spawn, let's go to the spawn dock, because there is another place accessible from the ship that isn't player built, that is the mega dock that I put a couple of my videos in here. One making the mega dock and one making the first mega build. And what the idea for this was is I have a channel on my Discord where people can nominate wallpapers that are in the wallpapers folder for me to try to build. And one of my Discord members was having a really rotten time, family health issues and things like that, and so I had decided that I wanted to use the thing that they nominated as the first build, so we're going to go look at that. But this is the mega dock area that I have put into place for the purposes of just having a bunch of mega builds back to back. And I want to kind of approach this one here. I'll get up a little bit closer in the air. So this is now leaving the mega dock and entering mega build land, or whatever I'm eventually going to call it, but mega build land will do for now. We can take a drink real quick. There we go, that's better, and I didn't choke this time, so that's great. So as you can see, we're approaching a different sort of roadway, and this is the beginning of the build that I made for this player. He decided that because the Latin word for waterfall is cataract, this place is going to be called Cataracta. And it is based on a wallpaper that is just on my server, and it was just a static wallpaper, and I did my absolute best to try to make it. I'm going to get a view of it from over here, so you can see why it's called Cataracta. There's waterfalls on all sides of it, and a bit of water that goes through the middle of the castle that comes down here. Let's get back to the road. Oh, it's on this side. And this is technically part of the build. This is quite far away from spawn, so while it can be discovered, it is largely just here for my building purposes. Let's continue down the road, or up the road, as the case may be, so we can get that first person feel of what it's like to approach this place. Because I tried to give it a sort of a grand entrance. I didn't want it to come in dead center, so I wanted to come far enough away over here to unload anything that might have been loaded previously, so that as you get to a certain point, things start loading in and you can see them from the side. So the first thing you get to see is this part right here, the first castle. And you don't get to actually see all the way over there. Another thing, unlike the Performium server, this is 10 chunks instead of 4, so you can see much further away. So that's nice. And again, this is all just from a wallpaper. Now the roads that go in through the place are not really decorated. I wanted to just have an entry path so that this place could be explorable. Here's the castle proper with some housing on it. I went real simple with the housing, just some color themes, and blocked it out, and then put some roofs on a couple things and done, because I didn't want to focus too hard on that. The main build was the castle. Let's just fly so that we can get a view of the rest of the town of Cataracta. And I even tried to get the surrounding terrain to match the wallpaper as best I could as well. Had a bunch of fun building this. Let's look at the castle. And the very top of that is at the build height. I had to finagle everything so that it fit, which is why I put it exactly where I did. I made custom terrain to go around it. But yeah, this is Cataracta, the first and so far only of my mega builds in Mega Build Land. But if you are on the Discord and want to nominate something in the wallpaper folder for me to try to build, I can recommence pursuing that. I had some fun doing this. I would have to refamiliarize myself with the replay mod, get all that stuff installed and adapted over onto this computer, but it should be doable, I hope. Because if I'm going to do something like this on here, you bet I'm going to use a time lapse. Yeah, this is Cataracta and Mega Build Land. So let's go back to spawn, and now we're going to go off to the left, because one of the things that I have on here in order to reduce the potential griefing, like even accidental griefing, is I've disabled nether portal spawning. So you can't build a nether portal in the nether and spawn it in the overworld into someone else's base. But before we go into the nether, I guess I should also talk about the rest of the dungeons here in spawn. So let's go ahead and do that. And I will also get this out for now. Back here is the cemetery, and there is one of the MCMMO, I think this is the swords related quest line. The dungeons are actually up in that blimp up there, up in the Zeppelin, but the warp is down here and it takes you in, and it's as if you were just transported that way. The skeleton should start spawning. Hello, Skellymans. I'm not spectator, so you should be. There we go. Skeletons. There is crypt loot, there's bones and some basic stuff. The quest line, you come back in here, only you go to a different version of the dungeon. There's two of the same dungeon. One is quest related, one is I guess one is MCMMO quest related, one is main quest line related. And they are both up there and nearly identical. And there's 3 floors down there for that. If we come up this way, right here on spawn, there's another dungeon. This is the barracks, where there has been a plague and everyone has been quarantined. And you're supposed to find the clues and stuff. And I'll turn on the lights. Just realized. Oh, those are the stairs down. I want to go up. Oh wait, no. There is no up from here. We're on the top floor. There's the foot lockers. There's some other shower drain, and you're supposed to come in here, fight the zombies, and deal with all the terrible spawning, and get the item for the quest and get back out. It is not easy, especially because there is no keep inventory. Oh no, what is wrong with some of these people and their skins? There's also an archery quest related, I wouldn't call it dungeon, more obstacle course, where you test your ability with the bow and hitting buttons, which you can see I'm not perfect. Oh, got it. Come on. One of those. There we go. And back over here. There is a button all the way in the far back corner. That should have done it. And if you get all of these in a minute, you should be able to unlock a special exit, and I'm not even going to come close to that. Yeah, I got this exit, but this wall will push out, and you can see the doors closing behind me because the arrows despawn. So if you can do it in the allotted time, and I have done it, it is 100% possible. You wait until right after clear lag to start the obstacle course. You go through and you can do it. You could also have friends. But there we go. The clear lag happened, the arrows vanished. You get the quest reward, you hit the button, you come back out, and here you go. You can have friends help if you are able to get some other people to come on, and that way you can keep all those doors active at the same time, and if you do, you get the end tier token. So there's that. But let's go to the Nether. You do the quest line, you get the resistance potion, and then you jump in the lake of fire, and off we go. The corruptor has been down here. He has fled, and he has done some naughty things. The people of the Nether use nether quartz as a source of power and magic, and the corruptor has decided that room that I put on the side here. The corruptor has decided that he wants to get his grubby little mitts in on some of that magic action, and has corrupted one of their power crystals down here. So this is the way down to the Nether. I've made it so that if a player wants to have another portal or another access of their own, they get the materials to make the Nether portal, and I will make a warp to a place of their own for the Nether so they can just use a sign. But for right now, starting off, this is the one that's been corrupted. You can tell it's corrupted because of all the green. Normally it's supposed to be the sphere of purple. Anyway, the normal access to the Nether is through here, and you can go in any of the 4 directions and get out of the spawn area. Ta-da! And just outside of these blocks are the public access building areas, which this should be it right here. There we go. It's claimed to here. This block. So it gets claimed to here. All of this is public access. And you can either go back through this way, or you can go back to spawn. So that's that. And now the rest of the quest line. Now, I did not get too terribly far in the main quest line because people started petering out on hanging out on the server. So if I was the only one on, then it didn't make any sense for me to do all the quest making, so I just kind of stopped. But there is the infrastructure for the quests, including a maze and a spider dungeon in there, which I need to make the custom spider boss. Hello, creepers. Goodbye, creepers. Made this area. This is the dense forest. There's going to be some elf lore kind of thing going on, fairy lore, something like that. And there are quest ideas for going off into different parts of this forest. But for right now, I only have the access to the main roadway here, which is nice and cramped and lush and lively, and it doesn't feel dangerous. It's just closed in, a little claustrophobic. There's going to be the cottage here for the end parts of Chapter 1 of the main quest line. Then you begin Chapter 2. You have been sent out here. Oh, never mind my tree templates. I'll get those out of here eventually. You begin pursuing the corruptor. You are told that here at the mansion where they were keeping him locked in, he has escaped. And this is, I copy pasted a dark mansion and modified it for my own purposes. Come in here. And you talk to the guardsman, which is not here right now. And he tells you to come in here and investigate. And apparently the corruptor has been having a grand old time, even having a pet giant spider, and has a bit of a laboratory where he has been mixing chemicals, and the chemicals are spilling and oozing out places. And he eventually escaped. Through the tool shed. Nice little garden here. Pool table. Actually, someone was wondering about how to make a slightly better pool table. I could do this. I could give them this thing. Oh, the kitchen is here. Thanks to Cuddles for building the kitchen, helping with this. This is a lovely layout. And you can see behind the wall is the Spy Master. And I did a sneaky. Back here near the servants' lounge, which I have a whole servants' lounge over here, is some artwork. And of course, any good Minecrafter knows that full-size paintings are secret entrances. The Spy Master here has some quests for you. Somewhere in this room, one of these, I'm not going to show which, is a secret bookcase that is actually a lootable container. Oops. The Spy Master will tell you what they have seen and what you're going to need to do and where you're going to need to go to continue the quest line related to chasing the corruptor. And some of that involves following a trail. I'm going to have to put a sign because people are inattentive. A trail of mysterious substance. And then eventually you discover that toxic ooze is definitely doing some bad things. I've not decided what pattern I want to use for the road here. That bothered me. Anyway. Oh, bedrock is a currency. You can build with it on here, or you can trade it for 50 grand. There are ways to earn bedrock. Alright, there are going to be some quests in this area, including some quests, oddly enough, related to chickens. But then you get to this area where the corruptor has discovered a new kind of magic that can completely pull all life force out of an area. And this area is called the Cold Snap. Nice little custom biome I made with variable snow levels and giant ice spikes and leftover tree trunks, but no leaves. Up ahead we will encounter an out-of-work lumberjack who has decided to try to make do with what they have and is trying to figure out what can be done with this ice. So this is the moving on to the Tier 2 of the MCMMO quest chain, where you get the next town's enchantments and stuff. And this is the town of Anvil, so named because the rock really did look like an anvil even before I finished it up. Under the anvil is one of my danger mazes called the Undermine. Someone has been down here. And while it is possible to try to sneak your way around, since keep inventory is not on, it is possible to fall to your doom, fall to your doom and get damaged and lose all your stuff. And it's a sad thing. But there are some hidden containers in here, some NPCs. You can see a name over there. And then this will just infinitely spit out minecarts for you to be able to get back up. I should put a... oh no. I should put a cactus up here, honestly. In fact, why don't I? I'll go with sand. And I'll go cactus. And that doesn't need to be there. That way you come back up, and I'll go ahead and test it actually. Upgrades. This should pop the cactus off. Oh, I have an alarm. Just a moment. Turn this off. There we go. Yep, popped off, and you can actually get a free minecart that way. So here are some towns. There is one house, or some townhouses, and there's one house that had the spikes grow through it. There's a quest related to that. It's not activated yet. There's no NPC installed for it, but there's a quest. I have a gate that has these gears that can close the gate, and this is the stronghold for the anvil. Once it is unlocked, you can start using the flight master here to go back and forth. This is where you can get obsidian shield for 50,000 instead of 200,000. He looks a little funny. Weird. He has quests. This is the Red King. I haven't set up all the quests in here. You can come back here, and there is another hidden loot Um, there's the MCMMO anvil and repair station and all, or scrapping station, I mean. Be another flight master. Another dragon. Wherever I have these, there's a flight master. Let's see here. Then, there's a wandering trader kind of setup before they actually existed. Then you solve the problems and return life to the area and all that kind of stuff, and you head on. I haven't figured out what road I want for this stretch here. But then eventually you encounter an NPC that is one of the witches of Blackmire. And Blackmire is over this way. I'm going to have these sort of swampland bridges that just weave in through here. This little sort of water plank kind of bridges. And then a path that comes back this way follows these studs to Blackmire. I converted a biome to this place. This is the land of Blackmire, host of the witches of Blackmire. And there's all these arcane rifts and volcanoes and things in different places. It's all the arcane energy, and they are seeking help because the corruptor has come here and disabled access to the Nether, and you are to go try to rescue the rest of the inhabitants of the Nether. And that quest line is still a little wishy-washy, but most of it's been outlined. If I go to home, net city, you infiltrate to here. Oh, that made things worse. You're supposed to come to each of these little buildings and get an item, which is the Power Stone, and the Power Stone is sending power into the central pyramid, where it is being collected up here and channeled into the laser, which is being used for destroying people who are against what the corruptor is doing. And I also have these nether crystal things, but these are infused with emeralds, which is the life essence. I also have these custom fungal plant things. Had fun designing those. And these little chutes that are spewing the lava into the area. Then there's meant to be an NPC here that will send you off to home. Is it just Vortex? Yes. The most recent of the nether cities that are under siege by the corruptor, and I haven't set the NPC in place yet or made this place entirely safe. But as you can see, this is the end of the laser, and then there's this big huge vortex that has come through and destroyed the nether city, and this is meant to be the remnants of another city. So there's that. You do a bunch of quests for the people of Blackmire, and then you move on. Now this is a side quest thing, but it is actually connected to the main quest. This is a smallest version of the entire swamp that I did, and this is the, I think it's just one size up map, isn't it? I think so. But this is Blackmire. I converted the entire biome into this. Now we move on. Get back to the road after you've helped the people of Blackmire. I think I need to make that part of the main quest line anyway because it's important to rescue those people, uh, and it makes sense to have it be part of the main line. Then after you help the people of Blackmire anyway, you find that this area is starting to be damaged more by the Corruptor. There are the Sea Elves. The Sea Elves are known for growing things stupendously large. And there's going to be a quest to examine why these trees are starting to become infested, and there's special silverfish mobs that I've made for a little bit of exploration. And then a maze. It's an amazing maze, which is impossible to cheese and fly through because there's barriers on all the ways through. And if you do try, cactus, so it destroys all your stuff if you fall and die. But this maze does have a bunch of quests in it and related to it. And this is much bigger than the Undermine, by the way. And we're nearing the end of the main quest line by going to the end. But first we have to go to the fortress. And I'm going to have some stronghold type structures up here and dotted down there. And you're supposed to go into this. And there's a warp to access this from spawn if you want to just go to the end. But you go down. And there are some missing people and some missing items, and you go through and pick them up. This is one of the few strongholds I've ever encountered where there is no rift that goes through it, no ravine, I mean. It is an intact stronghold. 100% intact. And I need to use Optifine or whatever to make this look a little bit better. This is supposed to be like a hazy kind of film of substance down there. But anyway, here we have the nether. And immediately you'll notice that there's something going on up there. And all the way around the nether, I have encased it in a giant obsidian sphere for reasons I will get to eventually. I do want to find where we built the Enderman fountain. There it is. Alright, I'm going to stand here. And I'm going to go game mode survival. And I'm going to start looking at Enderman. They're too far away. Fly. There, I can be in survival and flying. Let's just get a whole bunch of you guys' attentions. And I apologize for the pending Enderman noise. Let's just get a whole bunch of attention. And what I'm about to show you it serves no purpose other than it's enormously entertaining. You come in here. And they just... You sneak Probably with that happening. But largely, what they do is, with enough of them, I'll just go ahead and fly. It's loud and I'm about to die anyway. With enough of them, they try to walk on this little platform, and there you can make this a little bit more reasonable, but they will fall down the platform, teleport away, come back out, and walk back in and fall, and it makes a little fountain thing. I forgot exactly the parameters for how many to make it efficient, but it's a fun little thing. You know, game mode, creative. And now they don't really care. Oh, they are going to follow me though. That's hilarious. Now, couple things to note regarding this. The final MCMMO stuff is in the end, and the final quest chain for the main quest line is also in the end, and it is a solar system. I have turned the end spawn into a giant sun, and there are planets everywhere, and you can follow this road all the way out to a couple of the structures that are out away from spawn, but you could also, if you so desire, just warp to an end grinder. And I apologize again for the sound, but you can use your sword or other tools to just grind endermen. But this is a maximum efficiency enderman grinder. And if I get up high enough, those bottom endermen will despawn and new endermen will go in toward the endermite. There we go. And let's just watch this. They tried to get to the endermite and failed. Maybe, there we go. A little bit higher. It should be enough to make them just constantly flow. Yeah. Set home. In. Hip. No. Because I've realized that this could be useful for something. Because I could just do this and set my zoom so it fills the screen, and then just have music playing and do this. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, it is pretty cool to watch. What's happening here is they're falling all the way down to the bottom of the shaft and taking almost enough damage to die, and you can one hit them with pretty much anything. But from up here, when they get all the way to the bottom, they unload, and so now there's space for a new enderman to load. And I have it set up so that from where I am now, this is the only area where things can spawn, and the spawn radius around the endermite for being able to see the endermite and come in, it is a maximum efficiency. As soon as you kill the enderman down bottom, the enderman up top respawn immediately. It doesn't need to have a spawner. This is just how to do it in vanilla, and it works. Kinda nice. Takes a little bit of building to do, fact, they have to fall all the way down to the bottom of the room, which is in this rock somewhere. And I can actually access this through here, I just recalled. And there we go. And with all the XP, you can enchant stuff. There's an ender chest for that. There's storage for ender pearls and whatnot that you can use. There was some issues with some settings previously, so I put some settings up. That's fixed now. It should be. Yeah. Ender fragments, earth orbs. These are the different things that you can get as drops from here. Oh, let's put this back on. From killing the Enderman, as well as the Ender Pearls. But that's the Enderman grinder. But the plan for the end is home and top to have planets. And I still need to turn this into a planet with continents and things, but this is a full-on planetary structure. Oh, that's bedrock. And inside of this is an exact clone replica of the end spawn island. I almost went through. So that you can get quests from an established city. You don't have to worry about someone spawning the end dragon and messing up the city and all that. It won't happen here. It happens at 0-0 in the end, which is the spawn. But yeah, this is a replica, and it's the same size, only instead of being the sun, now it's a planet. There's going to be other planets, different places, and this is going to be the center of a sort of an asteroid maze, or a planetary ring maze, or however you want to look at it, where you can go on a minecart ride and some other stuff to find the missing stuff. And just like at the real end spawn, you can get to the end grinder from here. But this is where the final, well, almost final part of the main quest line is going to happen, and then you have to encounter the corruptor himself. And I have a whole bunch of stuff related to that, including some special mazes and you getting teleported to some pretty fantastical places. But let's see here. What else is worth showing on here? We have, oh, home. Is it called workshop? No. We have. I showed you tolerable. Not going to show you some of these player houses. Oh, at spawn, home, mod, house. Oh, hello, Elmaze. Watching via phone. This is at spawn. This is one of those little trees here, overlooking the spawn. This is just a place where some of the staff could just hang out. We had cakes and we could have a little conference here, sit down on chairs and chat for a while. What else? What else? Oh! Home. Nether top. There's this. Sort of incomplete, but this is a structure built by one of the mods, White Cat. And there is a sort of a maze puzzle thing. There's also an obstacle course. Uh, there's some games and stuff. She was trying to make an arena, including having things spawn. Yeah, there we go. You can see stuff spawning over there. But that's spawning from spawn eggs, and it was a survivor thing. Let's see here. There is somewhere around here. Aha! A giant bird cage. Well, for a giant bird. And then also, if I can find, aha! After doing a certain quest line, you gain access to a shulker spawning area, and that just happens to be inside this planet here. There's top access for people who can fly around. And you just wait for these shulkers to spawn, and you murderize them. And then their drops go into the different hoppers, and they come into the chest. It's not 100% drop rate, but there you have that. Oh, come on, why can't I fly? Oh! Because I changed dimension. Well, why was I flying before? That's weird. Oh, and also I should probably show off. Oh no! That's what's happened. Game mode creative. That's why. Loot thorn. Pioneer rocket. Somewhere from here is this. This was the first attempt at a prison world, a jail, but someone went in and they just were able to get right back out. So we kind of tossed that idea, but you know, it's a small little red moon with an atmosphere, so I figure I can reuse it for something. Also we have, let's see here, what else do I want to? Did the chateau, did train station, showed off a loft and all that. Underbox, warehouse. Is it called warehouse? Home warehouse? Ah! This is not what I was wanting, but this is another place. I could show off the Cuddles dock. I could do that, Cuddles. This is where I did the prototype build for the archery thing. And the messy, oh, you can see from here. Let's break this. This is the redstone. The two different options, one at a time going through, and then if you manage to come all the way through, you get to come out through here. This is the twin dungeon for the what I had up at the blimp. This is a place where you meet the corruptor for the first time in person. And when you get teleported here, it starts this thing where it starts raining and it's nighttime. I have my player time set on, so it doesn't matter. But he starts talking to you and poisons you. And then you have poison for 1,000 seconds, and which is like 17 minutes ish. And then you have to go get healed, Good times. Over here, as a little game, a guessing game, let's say, for instance, I want to guess green. I start the game, and I have someone on green, and then the machine behind me does its thing. You don't know how long it's going to take. It's random, but eventually it will happen. And it will choose one of these colors. Any day now. It's usually faster than this. And I could make the farms that generate the random numbers bigger to make it happen sooner, but usually it doesn't take this long. Is it actually nighttime right now? Maybe that'll help. Well, instead of just waiting around, I'll show what's going on. There's some melon or pumpkin farms in here, and observers, and oh wait, one of them grew, and it sends the pulse of whichever one grew first, and it seems like it was a tie for once, and that can happen. Hey, and I picked right, green. The signal goes back, and then it resets everything and stomps all the melons, and I can use it to pumpkins. I can use it to be able to actually gather the pumpkins as a reward or something. But it's just a random chance thing. I might use this as... Oh, I could use this same build on Performium, honestly. Important to note, if this is on 1 tick, the stone piston stays down. And that's the signal reset. Okay. Okay, alright. I remember. So there's that. Before the announcement of archaeology in Minecraft, I had an archaeology quest line that I was going to do. And one of the things that you were going to encounter was an ancient civilization that had built monuments and stuff, and you're going to find this one monument roadway. And this shape right here, the 4 corners with the little thing, is actually this. And it was supposed to be a bunch of these statues holding up the spears and holding out their hand to ward off the enemy as you come up. And then there was going to be a big old structure here, and this simple layout. But this was my idea for the design. I think it's kind of neat. I was showing people the concepts of water and lava, and how to do some self-regenerating walls on faction servers. So like, for instance, if I come in here and I punch this obsidian, the lava touches the water and it becomes cobblestone. If I do that too deep, it becomes just something you can't even interpearl through easy. This is where I was testing the build for the spire for the Cataracta. This is one of the arcane vents, or ruptures or whatever, from Blackmire. Oops. Apparently, the cat is up to no good. If you'll give me just a moment, I will take care of the cat. In a nice way, just, take care of her. Sorry about that. It's always Pandora doing something. It's never Dracula. I have a nice quiet cat and a nice loud cat. Anyway, this is where I was trying to make the bridges that are down in the Kingdom of Mycoria. This is the template for the entrance to. Oh, I didn't show up. Well, it's not even close to finished anyway. This is about as much as I have anyway. The entry to the sewer part of Haven, and there's going to be quest lines with that. We were testing because Bucket acts funny. Most servers act funny with some of uh, the smelteries, and we were trying to figure out different kinds of layouts for optimizing a smeltery on here, and came up with a few designs. Resource, fuel, and sort of works. This is the texture pack testing area. If you are very keen, you can know that this is the layout for the tree maze. Oh, these are some of the buildings, thanks to L Maze for helping construct some of these, all of these actually. Very clever builds here, and I would love to see what else he's come up with since, because it's been a while, and I bet he's had some ideas to make some additional builds, maybe even some airships and things. But this is for Rivet River and Aloft. That big blue planet is the center of the ring maze, and this is the ring maze layout, including some custom islands for connecting to each of the different rings, or the different islands. And instead of just having only vanilla stuff, workshop. Oh, okay. But there's this. Just like a miniature thing from the main spawn island on the end. A plain flat one. Always good to have a plain flat one. Some nods to some of the end cities. A little bit of terrain, different kinds of chorus plants. And it's just a bunch of this. And there still needs to be a few more ideas to put into the randomizer, but this is what would be encountered. Like this one island here, that whole island would be this block here. What did I just knock out of my hand? I think it was maybe that. Just in case I have a tool bound to the die, let's get rid of the tool. All right. Oh yeah. Propeller. bunch of stuff over here. Prototype for my tree for Blackmire. Let's see here. I had to get a good screenshot for how I was going to do the dome for under Procedura, so there's that. This is our nod to the Nightmare Before Christmas. We just kind of slapdash. We had just a few hours to make a, I forgot who it was, whether it was, I think it may have been Cuddles, but it was a Halloween build thing, and just a little bit of time to put it together. Made this, and maybe a little bit of other details added, but this is from Nightmare Before Christmas. This is the City Hall, and I also came up with a little goo fountain, which is what gave me the idea for the sewer. Let's see here. This is a separate project that I have going for something else. So is this. White Cat was designing something here. Basically, this is an area where I would do some test builds of things. Now, you may notice that there's a great big field of glowstone in one of these directions. I think it's over here. Well, I know what went out of my hotbar in that spot. My rockets. So what's going on here is I am a huge fan of the game Chronicon. And I have decided that I am going to build all of Chronicon as a playable map. And especially now that data packs are a thing, I might be able to actually make it full on adventure mode. But this is the layout for the start map for Chronicon. And you go through all this, and I was going to have command blocks to do different things, and then NPC asking for proof of the captain's death, and all that kind of stuff before you're able to move on to the next map. And then you go through all this, you do the different things, the different side quest rooms, and then you go on to the next map, and so on and so forth. And I was just building all of the stuff for Chronicon. So some of the maps have changed, some subtly, some drastically since I put all this together. And this was only the first chapter. Now there are 6 whole chapters. So one of the things I plan on doing for my channel is slowly building Chronicon in Minecraft, just in like a single player flat world for me to turn into the game and use just natural mob spawning. And just like in my Wolfenstein map, you place torches to make it so that places are safer and more explorable. So there's that. I guess I should mention, in addition to this, as a personally loaded world, world TP Wolf 3D. This should take me to, yes, good, the spawn point for my Wolfenstein 3D map. I have made it so that players can start a quest and then be able to make their own copy of the Wolfenstein 3D fully playable adventure game and come in and have their own game and bring people to them and all that kind of stuff. And this is where you place the beacons after you defeat all the withers from all 6 levels. So there's that. World unload Wolf 3D. But instead of using the core world, it copies that world to make a new one. Worlds. World list. There we go. Alright, okay. Let's see here, what else do we have? Home. Workshop 2, worked shop? Workshop 2 is, yeah, that's down here. So, home, nether. Oh, it's just home nether, okay. So this is another one of my workshops. Before I made a workshop world, I was just using the nether top as a workshop. Fresh from Performium Skyblock, we decided to replicate the spawn from the Skyblock spawn building on Performium. And so that's what it is. These aren't actually loot crates, these are just ender chests, and that's just what's in my ender chest right now. This is where I tested my idea for the... See, these horses are still here. I keep having vanishing issues with horses for that. This is an idea I have for a room where you have to go in the right order. And it teleports you between different versions of it, and you go different directions and whatnot. Let's see here. Can I just turn off the fog options, video settings? I don't think that I can turn off fog without Optifine on here, and I haven't turned it on, or I haven't loaded Optifine from 1.11. So, well, this is a prototype for the houses at the anvil. This is a shop that I helped for JoJo. This was the general layout for the under the chateau where the corruptor had his laboratory. This is some of my prototypes for the spikes, both for the cold snap as well as for the nether spikes. I started doing the end thing here. This is the templates for the different tiles for my maze for the undermine, the different types of orientations, as well as the different tiles for the tree maze. The top half, the bottom half, the connecting stairs. Let's see here. Over here I have the, that's hard to see. Maybe this will help, yes. I have the prototype for the big club looking tree for the sea elves. What else can I show? Before I put in the Hogshead Inn, I built it here. A couple of trees. There's more I need to move into here. My prototype for my slow motion maze. Mwahaha. What is this? Where are you? Oh, this is the prototype for... Okay, this is for the build a boss in the Chronicon map. That's the barracks. This is the portal for the Blackmire. This here is the skyscraper that we've designed for 7 Days to Die that matches all of the weight tolerances in the game so that it won't collapse. There is this version here with that top, and then there's the shorter version with the more gradual spire going up, but the other one is much better. This gives much more skyscraper-y vibes. Somewhere. Oh, the little swirls of magic in the nether, or in the nether city thing. Where is it? I think it's on the other side of this. Oh, well, I could show this. I made a video for my niece's 10th birthday where a bunch of people from the Discord and Minecraft, I would stand here. Oops. And the person would stand there and they would say happy birthday from, like, they would say happy birthday from France, and then they would say in French or whatever their language, bon anniversaire, and all that kind of stuff. And I had, I don't know, 40 people go through and just have a happy birthday from around the world. Like there was Australia, Sweden, the Netherlands, Canada, Malaysia, Germany, I think, several places in the US. And the way I did it was that little zoom in thing at the beginning of Gravity Falls, I used that to zoom back and up and out and then fly around the world using Google Earth, and then zoom in on the new location and then transition to the screen of them wishing her a happy birthday. It made her happy as a clam. And she loves Gravity Falls, so there's her favorite character, Mabel, I think her name is. It's gotta be Mabel. And I just came up with the images that I wanted to put around the outside here, little cipher and all that. The barfing gnome. Yeah, there's that. Now I was looking for something specific over here. So this is part of the end game for defeating the Corruptor. And you think you've defeated him, and then he brings you here into a nightmare. And this is a corrupted version of Spawn. And it will be over the void. And these are different signs than the normal signs. So rules. You had your only chance, you've already failed, and all that kind of stuff. And the objective here is to... And I've already failed because my Elytra activated. That's just great. Is to parkour your way down. And get to... Yeah. Over here. Oh my stupid Elytra. Why do I do this with an Elytra on? Oh, come on. Well, you know. You get over to here, and there's going to... This is going to be elsewhere. This is going to be in the overworld, but there's going to be an NPC who'll say, I'm fine here, take this to behind Spawn, and you parkour your way back. Oh, of course my Elytra did that. Or no, you don't parkour your way back. He sends you back up here. And all the while, the corruptor is staring this way. And you may never even notice that he's there. There he is. And instead of the mob heads, it's all wither skeletons. And instead of the wall of friends, it's the corruptor. But then you have to come back over here and parkour in the other direction. And there's going to be an NPC here to rescue. And once you rescue that NPC, it'll end that part of the scene, and you'll go on to the next part, and so on and so forth. But this is just my prototype of the evil version. Oh, instead of the refuge, it's F for failure. And yeah, it's just supposed to be a dark version of Spawn. I have a couple other things similar to this along the same lines of twisted versions. Excuse me, twisted versions of things. Oh, this is the chapel, by the way. And the cool part about this is, if I come up here, and I see all that stuff like that, and I go /spawn. Wow, spawn. I can actually come over here and practice the parkour safely on these blocks that actually do exist, and work my way. Oops, well that was a failure. And Elytra again. I'm gonna work my way over all the way. Well, this is stairs in the way, but you get the idea. All the way over to here. And it might be the deacon that you rescue, I don't know. But yeah, it's the exact same layout. It's just the corrupted version of it. And if I ever do decide to close the server down, I will tell the story of what the corruptor is, but I'm not going to reveal it because spoilers are awful, especially if I do actually get this server up as a full-on thing, which that really won't happen unless I can get some sort of reasonable amount of money flow going so that I can afford to have an actual proper server. So a future project, but the plan is to have all this stuff, and a lot of these things rely on 1.11.2 infrastructure, and I don't know if I would be able to happily do without them. So I'm definitely going to have to do the multi-world kind of proxy server thing so that people can come to this in any version, and this is still 1.11.2, and they can be running a 120 client and still be able to do this with all the 111 plugins on this world. That's the only way I can think of to make it work, because there are some that just they aren't even available for 112, and they are necessary for making this server work the way I need it to. So I'm kind of stuck on 111 for what I have building in here. So what I would probably do is have 2 adventure worlds, maybe this for the main storyline, and then another one more modern version, or just have more adventure kinds of plugins and whatever. I would have to figure out how to make the balances go between worlds and inventories and all that kind of stuff. So I need to learn more about that, but I'm not even going to pursue that until I can justify spending the time and resources and money on making the server. So this is just a private server. It's running in a closet in Texas somewhere, and you are here. There's that slime thing. There's the cemetery. There's Haven. Over here somewhere is Spruce Springs? Cedar Springs? Spruce Springs. Oh! There we go. Let's go this way. I didn't go down this road. So if I come down this way from spawn, you enter... A moment. There's a sign somewhere. Spruce Springs. Oh, and there are logs floating down the river as a lead into the sawmill. One of the quests actually sends you out here to talk to the ranger who has you go pick up trash. Oh, I already looked inside that one within the past 7 days, so it's going to be empty. There's litter in different places for you to gather, and then once you get enough of it, you turn it in, and then he'll send you on your merry way. This path continues up here. Did I already pass up the bookshelf? I must have. Oh, this is one of Elmaze's builds. His own little lumberyard thing. Where is... Aha. Okay, so there's some torches here, some light that leads you off towards that. I have some pet llamas that I need to, and a donkey, a llama and a donkey, I think, to send off towards my actual survival area. I found them, I claimed them, I tamed them, they're mine, and I put them in a box so that I could make the journey on a video or on a stream or something back then, but I just, they're there waiting for that to happen. But if you follow this, there's a project underway by Elmaze where he is doing a pretty neat little research facility that's really well done, and it's broken down and dilapidated, and it's not finished. Llama! Sorry. It's not entirely finished, but you can explore a little bit. It's the interdimensional research facility, as you can see there. And there is to be a sort of a maze kind of route that leads you through here. Like I said, it's not done, but you can at least look at stuff. Aha! Crew's quarters, labs, kitchen. Kitchen, actually. Cafeteria has no missing letters. And there are meant to be things to discover and buttons to press to unlock certain passageways, and you have to do it in a certain order. Generator room. Once this becomes a power reserves critical. Nice! I never saw this part before. This is really cool. But once I would get the go-ahead that this is all furnished, I would, the plan was to come in here and help work with the redstone wiring and set everything up and then make it an explorable place and put in some loot and things like that for people to actually explore. And it's the way out through here. Okay, so let's see here. This is the entrance, so it came this way. So this line of torches, once that was put into place and once some other things were done, I was going to, the torches come over here. I was going to connect the roadway to here. And there are some additional lumber related quests off in this direction for I forgot Dunsmouth Lumber Company or something like that, and it's supposed to be a combination of Dunwich and Innsmouth, Lovecraft. But there's giant trees, and they have knocked one over here, and some questing this way, and then eventually you would continue further down the road. There's a big shadow, it's a blimp, and we go to the Twin Cities of Rivet River and Aloft. And this is just a placeholder road that I'm using to mark where I want the way in to be. And you would come in here and you can see some flying things, and it's twin steampunk cities. One on the ground, one in the air. The one in the air is called Aloft. The one on the ground is called Rivet River. And as you go down through here, there are going to be houses and shops built into the walls, sort of vertically, and then you would work your way down, and you would be at the entrance and do a flip. You're hilarious. This is the underpinning of Rivet River. This is why it's called Rivet River. This holds the city up on these little stalactites, stalagmite, these cavern things. And these are just brass plates that are riveted together. And then the idea is to have a bunch of these steampunk buildings in place, and some of them are going to have hidden things, like this one, for instance, I believe. Yeah, hidden chest there under the bridge. And putting your best foot forward. The inside of this one is just great. I love this one. All these different things everywhere. This is fantastic. A detail of that. The gears up there, and all the buildings have effectively some sort of gear thing going on. Oops. Or these electrode things. But up above in the city of Aloft are these propeller driven districts, and you can see the gears on there. Well, pretending that things actually move, I built this so that if the gears did move and step down and all that kind of stuff, then that right there would actually drive these propellers on all the sides. And I have two identical ones here and there, and then this would be the main part of Aloft. And I'm not going to go ham with the detail for the gears in this, maybe 2 or 3 on one side for quest, and all the rest is going to be district, and it's just going to be implied that there's gears, and that way I can use more of the environment for the questing and all that. But at the tops of these are going to be piston houses, and they're going to be needing fuel so you can power the pistons and all that kind of stuff. And there'll be little planes that you can use to hop over, not really planes, just pretend planes, to hop over and talk to some of the people on some of the other airships and whatnot. And it's just a whole thing. But this is roughly about the time when people stopped really being on the server, and I was like, why am I spending all this time on this when I have other projects that I can be working on? I'll just set this aside for right now. This is basically, I stopped working on this and started doing other stuff alongside the Refugee to Regent challenge. So I kind of plan on trying to split my time, doing a little bit more on this, because I do want this to be a thing. I want this, on the off chance that I actually do manage to get a full-on server and be able to afford that, then I want this to be an actual place where people can do their questing and actually turn it into a game. I may not have all of the builds, but I am going to have most of it. The road is then going to continue past these twin cities, or maybe through, or whatever. Go back this direction here. And if I can find, aha! This here, custom area, is a whole bunch of the tall, big trees on stilts, so to speak. Then I'm going to have in between some additional canopies put into place, and then some smaller undergrowth and some quests related to that. And then you will have access up to here to Procedura. And then from, I believe, this side of Procedura, there's going to be a raised highway. Yes, that leads to a whole castle district up here. Like, I'm going to turn this whole biome, the whole Extreme Hills, into a castle district. And then have the main castle be back over here. So lots and lots of ideas, lots of stuff already built, things to look at, things to do. And I've had a lot of fun on here, but I've sort of had to step away from it, mostly because it's lonely, I guess. But also a bunch of new friends and stuff are on Wild, and so I've been spending a lot of time doing stuff on Wild. There's the entrance. Over here. Yeah, this is the Refuge. I don't... Here, let me bring up home again. Is there anything else? Did tolerable. Oops. The nether cube is in exact correlation to the build, the Menger sponge. I have an inverted Menger sponge I'm building in the nether. Well, yeah, I guess I could show your area, Cuddles. I just bonked the mic. Let's see here. Tree maze. Showed my Coria. What is middle? Home middle. Oh, the middle. Generally. Of that. I don't need this anymore. Del home. Middle. Candyland. And I was turning that into an amusement park of giant proportions. It's not even started. I don't need to show that. So let's go warp spawn dock. Cuddles has her own dock. A lot of players who have built up some significant structures and had roads connected to a waterway. A water that is sufficiently sized for this boat. They have, like, if you wanted to come here to Port Haven, you could come onto this ship and actually visit any of these places. You could go to Mega Dock. You could go to my area, Thorn Dock. You could go to Susie's area. You could go to Interlady's area. One Dizzy Duck has an area, and Cuddles, oops, has there's Cuddles. Has this. And it must be nighttime. She's under attack. Little vendy thing. We're getting some snacks. She has an amusement park here. Also a slowly degrading village with some dead bushes and stuff. And an Enderman that is trying to rescue a house. Which is just adorable. Some exhibits, including floating sand. And this is player safe. There is, let's see, 1, 2. I thought there were 3. Oh, there's the third one, I think, might be inside the museum itself. Oh, there it is. Up here. And so the plan was to put in some art and have some fun things like this little water slide to come up here. Yeah, she picked the area because of the floating sand, actually. Yeah. You walk up here. Long walk, long walk, long walk. And then you sit in here for a nice, long, leisurely water slide. And because you can get pretty hungry if you're moving around in water, conveniently enough, she has some snack stands where you can buy different kinds of food, pumpkin pies and whatnot. She also has a very simple, very colorful roller coaster that lasts exactly 4 minutes. It is, if you are on Performium on Wild, you are going to be probably seeing a much larger version of this cropping up near my area, one of my areas. Because if this lasts 4 minutes and only goes from the old build height to ground level, imagine how long it would last if it goes from the new build height all the way to the new bedrock. Wahaha. 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 You fiend. Did I? I did. Oh, this is all claimed. And let's see here. Trust list. Yeah, okay, cool. I made it so that this is all claimed, so that people come here, they can't interact with things. 4.5 minutes, I'm sorry. And I gave you manage trust, but I also made it so that people could push buttons. But if you follow this road all the way out, you end up at Cuddles' area where she is doing her own Refugee to Regent build. This is a fake Cuddles. And for the longest time, she had a map that covered every explored area of the entire map, and then she had to shrink it down quite considerably. But here we have spawn, here we have my area, duck, some other highlighted areas. Night Hunter has a spot there. That's Painted Blues area. So if that's one, that's that. You come through over here, go through the ice. I want to say that the end portal is in this general area here. Basically, everything from here to here is claimed for purposes of administrative building. This is a map of her area. Her town that she has been working on. She's put a wall around it. This is a hospital. Mobs kept despawning, even if they were name tagged and put in minecarts. Don't know what's up with that. Put a little receptionist NPC in here with that. There we go. Head shops. TARDIS. The waiting area for the hospital, all that kind of stuff. Hi, Cuddles. Her outer wall, oh, it's not entirely built over here yet. Let's go over, is it built here? It is. This is what she's doing for her wall. And she's on the stone stage too, so she's able to use glowstone and cobblestone and all that. Cool little watchtower. Like the leaves included. However, by rights, I don't think she can have... No, she could get Silk Touch and get the leaves that way. You can get Silk Touch from some of those random loot crate things. Yeah, this goes around her area. And she's got just a bunch of cool looking stuff. A little cute village going on. Including more cows and you can shake a stick at. There are villagers in here. And this is before you needed to have special blocks, so it was just random what kind of villager they would be. So that's neat. Yeah. Quaint little area here. Oh, I should mention, I had a plugin on here that I thought it had the potential to be really cool. And for a while, it was just really fun. And it was called the Gods plugin. And you pick a god, and as a matter of fact, let's go to spawn again. You pick a god, and or you name a god, and then it randomly gives that god powers and certain items that it needs for offering someone. It punishes you if you don't pray often enough and that sort of thing. But eventually, it got to the point where even if you were completely prayed up, it would still punish you. And so, like for instance, one of the punishments was lightning strikes. And I went and visited someone. Our loyalty or whatever it's called was 100% maxed out, and I got smitten by a lightning bolt standing right next to this player's entire collection of book trading villagers, and they all got turned into witches. It was so sad. But the way you would do prayers is you could have an altar, which was just a torch on a bookcase, and I have a little thing here where you can step on this and just be healed. Or you can do a quest to talk to, I think, the priest and be healed. And we had in here, for anyone who wanted to do the Solace God, shops where you could buy the things. So cooked beef, carrot, cactus, and just books. Those were the 4 sacrifice items. And it was random which ones they wanted at any given time, and so you would sacrifice those things, and that would be it. But yeah, we started having a lot of issues with the plugin, and I had to get rid of it. It was sad to see it go, but it occupied so much of our time babysitting our gods that we had a lot less time to actually build and play the game than we appreciated. So it was a double-edged sword for getting rid of the plugin. It was a good concept. It could have been implemented a lot better, though. Let's see here. Is there anything else I had? Has it mysteriously returned? Hold on. I think it has. There it is. Equestrian. This is an NPC. Which is why it's so slow. And it doesn't turn right. This is my NPC horse Equestrian. Why did your armor go poof? I don't understand that. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Is there anything else? Ah, there's a secret parkour. Is it in here? No, it's not in here. It's in a fountain over here. You can come up on this. Oops. Fail. Fail again. I keep overshooting, but anyway, you come up on here. That's what I get for rushing, and it's another one of those. There. Oh, I'm in the water. There's a quest objective in this cave. It's a sort of a convoluted cave, but it's reasonable, and I think you can see through there where it is. Oh, this road. This road leading out from town. This goes to, if you go that way, it goes out to the quest related stuff. And this is out towards White Cat's area. Please do not use path or build by it. That means don't build on the path itself. But basically, if you follow this far out enough, you end up at the archive. And I had planned on making another dungeon underneath the archive. I do need to talk about that. And it is to counteract all of the items that keep getting lost by clear lag. I was going to have a warehouse where all of the evil minions would bring things. And by bringing these things in, they store them all in these distribution centers, and I was going to have some custom mobs, including a floor manager and all that kind of stuff, where you would go in and get your stuff back. We're coming up on my mountains. Oh, by the way, my Korea is under these giant mountains that I built. And what this isn't actually stone mountains. This is meant to be giant fossilized mushrooms. My Korea in its entirety is under these mushroom mountain things. But let's see here. Under here, This is the archive. Under here is the place where I was going to have the other uh, sort of a maze of a place where you would have to go up and through and across all these different shelves that would have blocks on them, and there are going to be aisles dedicated to different kinds of biomes, and you might be able to get some loot from different biomes. Like, say you're wanting to get some vines and you don't know where a jungle is, you can come in here and maybe find vines in one of the swamp or the jungle biome rows or shelves, and there would be workers that you had to defeat, things like that, and then a foreman and all that. But again, future me project that never came around because of lack of player base, so I just kind of stepped away. But I enjoy doing this sort of stuff. This is great. I was experimenting with swoosh patterns here. Yeah. Somewhere, there's Cuddles. Somewhere is her area. Let's see here. /home arc dig site. This is also part of the. Oh, I don't know why I disabled the HUD. This is also part of the road that's connected here. There we go. It's right here. It was by that one lava pit. So that's what this one is. Okay. You would follow a secondary path that comes over here. And this was going to get converted into the beginning parts of the archaeology quest line. And I had a lot of cool plans for this, and I still think I'm going to try to implement them. Look at all the spider dance parties. Isn't that cute? They're all so happy. Dancing to the music. Oh, she got some of their attention. But, on Performium, we have only been playing on Wild for a couple of months, since like March 23rd, I think. And so our MCMMO statistics are small, honestly. I just only broke the 2300 power level. If I look at my stuff on here, MC stats, I have 5,000. MC top. It's I'm not even at the top. Cuddles has 13,000. And Elmaze and Painted and Susie, none of those are admins. As a matter of fact, the only other admin on this list is number 10, and she hardly did anything. You don't get any points for doing things in creative, and so if you want to get MCMMO levels, you have to do it in survival, and we have. And we've been doing a lot of it, and she is just, let's see here, MC top mining. I'm in second place on mining, and I'm not even close to catching her. It's great. This is the sort of stuff that we do. Now, granted, the server's been out since 2018, and we played fastidiously on here for years, but not as pursuant of the MCMMO as we could have been. So I'm looking forward to just blowing people out of the water on Wild later. That'll be fun. MC rank. Is that not working? Oh, it's over on the right. Duh. I kept looking in chat. Oops, oops, oops. MC rank, and it just vanishes. Uh, yeah. I'm not even top 10 on 4 of them. At least on Wild, I'm in top 10 on all but 2. Yeah. This, Cuddles, can you think of anything else that I'm missing for showing off here on the Refuge? I showed off the island of Dr. Tolerable. Dr. Tolerable, by the way, is a good guy who helps you to get some of the resources you need in order to defeat the Corruptor. However, he is misunderstood because he lives on an island and does all this weird science, and so people think he's this bad guy engineer that's out to take over the world, and he just wants to be left alone, and he's a good guy and he's helping, and it's funny. Oh, MC rank little Cuddles, because I am mod, I can show that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're number 1 overall for sure. Look at all those number 1s. Holy smokes. Let's see here. I showed the workshop and the warehouse. I showed the nether top. I showed the end top, the big planet. I showed Nether City. I showed Vortex. I showed Blackmire. I showed a couple of the hidden things in the buildings in Haven and other places. Oh, show Spruce Springs. Okay, spawn. We. There's the Rangers campsite, so I fly over this way and come in on foot. Welcome to Spruce Springs City. Population dash. This is back when the Slime Fun plugin allowed us to place the holographic signs, so he has the holographic sign for Spruce Springs, like I had the one that says welcome to Procedure. His mailbox, visitor center, B1 Forest Tavern, historic building, melon shop. Oh, there's stats. MC rank L Maze 11. And he's up there too. MC stats L Maze 11. Oh, you can't do the stats for other players. You can only do your own stats. I've got higher alchemy on Wild than I do on here. We have a lot of color going on. Some brewing potions. Main Street. Community library. Wait. He had a post office. Is that down this way? Yeah. His god was Kitsune. It's gotta be on Main Street. Butcher. Metalwork. Mailbox there. Wait, if that's his mailbox. And there's a mailbox. Ah! No, this isn't the post office. I know for sure he had one. Or was going to have one. I am very confused. Some apartments, including a secret entrance to something of his. Down Main Street, then take a left, he says. Okay. Oh, is this it? Yep. P.O. boxes for players. Isn't that great? He made a public post office. Bunch of fun little builds all over the place. Don't even know what half of them are. This was... I really, really do wish that the Slime Fun plugin hadn't borked, because getting all the power stuff and the broadcast electricity and all that kind of stuff, the batteries, all that, oh, that's fun. It's fun getting all that to work. And I still don't know why it's broken or how, because the files exactly match what I have on my backup on my own computer. And I launch with those and everything works just fine. So I have no idea what's broken about it. Very frustrating, actually. But the sad thing about it is, whatever broke, it happened during a period when a lot of players weren't on for several days, and so the backups overwrote the other backups, and so I couldn't roll back far enough to a working state. So it borked. Oh yeah, the observatory. Let's look at the observatory. Stargazer's Observatory. What do we have here? Souvenir space rocks. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Space rocks. Hey, you know what? Screenshot. I'm stealing that idea. Proceeds go to city funding and improvement efforts. Point. Do I do it with the point? No. Game mode survival. I punch. No, I shop. There we go. I have donated. Lobby donations are welcome. Payout made 11. Money. Thank you. Model of an asteroid. Endrod. Note the sponge-like texture. First person to reach deep space and the main proponent of entropy. Model of an asteroid. Alright, now we go up. Authorized personnel only. Computer screens. Record center. Observatory itself. And the telescope hasn't yet been built, but this is where the telescope is meant to be. There you go, the observatory. I haven't actually been in the lower floors of that. Neat place, neat place. Lost. Tartus. Okay. Mob. Interesting names. Okay. Colorful, colorful town of Spruce Springs. And in some direction, it leads back to spawn area. Yeah. There you have it. As far as I know, I've covered basically everything there is to cover on here. Went the main spawn road, went down that way, covered all the... I mean, I could go to some of the players' places, but I don't think that's fair. And also, it would be... it would take away from your own exploration if you were to be on here. What else might there be? I did the dungeons. Slime. Archive. Barracks. Cemetery. Spider cave. Let's see here. Showed the stuff with the loft. Showed the nether, showed the end. Showed the Wolfenstein world. Oh, the logo for the Refuge, with the R, with the subtle nod to the skyblock background that we use. Yeah, I think that's basically it. If I missed something, I could maybe include it in a future video or a stream or something, I don't know, but I can't think of anything that I missed, honestly. So yeah, I guess this is a good enough point to go and wrap things up. Unlike Performium, you can't just log in and join me on here. You would have to get whitelisted, and very few people are. If you want to be whitelisted, you can message me on Discord. And oh, we had the skyblock banner. Where's the skyblock banner? Hold on. Oh, there it is. The skyblock banner right there. Refuge and skyblock. Anyway, you could message me on Discord, or you could also become a supporter on Patreon at least the $2 level, and you would be able to get access to this server. I would whitelist you. You'd be able to come on and mess around. I'm going to have to double check and make sure everything that is supposed to be admin claimed still is, because a couple things didn't quite work out after the rollback, and so there's that. But it should be just available for people to be able to join. But that's I guess all there is to it on here to show front end. If you want to hang out and you want to join this server, like I said, you could message me on Discord and we can see, or you could become a Patreon supporter. The link to my Discord is down in the description below, and the link to my Patreon is down below, and you can use either of those. If you do want to join my Discord server, do remember to pick a role, probably the YouTube role, maybe Performium if you are a member of Performium, like a lot of us on this server are. And uh, let's see here. I don't think there's anything else to mention about that for the joining, but thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give a like. I do appreciate it, and it does help. And if you haven't already, do please subscribe so that I can get my channel past that 2,000 magic mark. Let's see here. I mentioned the Patreon, I mentioned the Discord, so I don't have to repeat those. So I'm going to go ahead and move my mouse around and see the end pattern move with my mouse. That is so trippy. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you once again for watching. Thank you, Cuddles, for helping and being part of all this. This is Thorn of Night, and so is that. And we will